What is going on, guys? Newton here, the MMO Player, bringing you guys a skill build guide for Path of Exile. Today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to build Incinerate, one of my all-time favorite skills, and let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, Incinerate kind of acts and works in the same way as Freezing Pulse. Now, this is a kind of a projectile-based skill that does fire kind of in a cone-like effect. So let's go ahead and throw it onto our first slot. Now, by no means do you need a 6-slot item to get this build going. You can get away with 3 or 4 to make this skill very useful. So Incinerate is it's kind of a cone-based projectile when you pair it with other skills, and it deals fire damage, and a lot of fire damage at that, which is really nice. It's a high damage skill that'll be very effective early on and really effective later in the game, and this is the skill I've used all the way through up to the point that I am now. So, Incinerate, being a projectile, we're going to go ahead and pair it with a lesser multiple projectiles or even greater. The choice is yours, whichever one. If you want to cover more area, you can roll with greater, but the skill already works pretty darn fantastic with lesser, just because I like the damage output, so we're going to go ahead and pair it with lesser. Like I said, the choice is yours. If you want to cover more area, you can always go with greater. Next, we're going to go ahead and pair this with a faster projectiles. Faster projectiles, which will basically increase the range of our skill. Now, this is a very short range projectile, and I mean very short. Without the faster projectiles, it's going to be a pretty close quarters battle with this skill, which is a little bit of a fallback. You might have a little bit of trouble with the skill early on, but if you stick with it and you pair it up with some other skills in the game, it's going to be extremely effective, and the damage output for the skill is absolutely insane. Which is why I've chosen to stick with it, and I've built it so far as I've done now. So, faster projectiles will increase the range of the skill pretty much by double, which is really nice. And the skill is already a pretty darn short range, so this is definitely very helpful. And now, this skill does not offer any CC abilities, so you do not freeze or you do not slow down enemies. So you do kind of, it's kind of a give or take. You will take some more damage. It is very close quarters, but the damage output is extremely high with this skill. So, after faster projectiles, my bad, we're gonna go ahead and pair it with a spell echo. Now, with this skill, you are casting it, but it kind of acts as a channel. The longer you hold down your skill, the longer to be casting out your Incinerate. So, it's a projectile, but you hold it down, you kind of channel it from your hands. So, a spell echo will kind of make you channel it twice as you're doing it, as you're holding it down, which is really nice. It kind of doubles the damage of your Incinerate, which is pretty cool. It's nice. And next, we're gonna go ahead and, or before we go into the next one, actually, I should say, with just these 4 skills, you can get Incinerate pretty darn good. It's gonna be very effective at this point. By no means do you have to go farther. You don't have to stress about getting a 5 or a 6 link item. Just with these 4 alone, Incinerate will be super effective and super useful for quite a long time. But if you do have the options of pairing it with another 1 or 2 items, I'm going to go ahead and throw faster casting onto it for a higher damage output. The faster we can cast in a short duration of time, the more damage it's going to deal, which is always nice. And we're going to go ahead and pair it with an elemental damage. I'm going to go ahead and put lightning damage on it, just because I like lightning, making it a little bit more well-rounded the more element effects it has on it. So generally, that's all you need to build Incinerate. It's a very high damage output skill. It is going to be very, very useful. But like I said, let it be known that it comes with high risk, high reward. The damage is high, but you also could die very early on and very easily. So be very careful when using this skill and use it cautiously. Don't run into rooms blindly, and take caution when running around and rolling with this build. So as you can see here, the range of the skill is not very far. It's not as long as other projectile-based skills, which does make it kind of a drawback. But like I said, the damage output of the skill is absolutely insane. And basically, the second the fire touches the enemy, they just die, which is beautiful. I love it. That's why I like the skill so much. But like I said, high risk, high reward kind of rolls with this build. So even with lesser multiple projectiles, you can kind of see the cone effect of the skill is already pretty great. And you can imagine how much bigger it gets with multiple projectiles. It does work quite nicely, but like I said, the damage output is reduced when paired with it. So I like to kind of stay away from it, and already it's super effective just the way it is right now. So let's go ahead and keep running along. And one thing about this build is it does suck up a lot of mana, so you kind of do want to kite quite a bit while using the skill. Don't hold it down in one area, and you're not always going to want to stay in one area. You're going to want to consistently keep moving. so that way you can kind of avoid damage, which is always a very good thing to watch out for in this game. And a perfect way to show off the potential of this build is I'm going to press this right here, show you all the mobs and just how fast I can kind of burn down and melt all the mobs. Let's go ahead and run out of the way, and there we go. We're going to go ahead and basically burn down all these mobs. Doing it very, very fast, not taking too much damage, but I mean, as you can see, I'm not CCing them or slowing them down, so I do take a little bit more damage as opposed to Freezing Pulse or some other skills, but like I said, high risk, high reward makes this build a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and continue on, find some more mobs, show you just how much damage it does, and as you can see, the health bars for each mob goes down so fast just because the damage output for the skill. That's why I like it so much, and who doesn't like playing with fire? Playing with fire is just so much fun, especially in games. I think fire builds tend to be a lot more fun than others, just because burning enemies just has a very satisfying feeling to it. But I mean, other than that, that's pretty much it for this build. It's a very simple and easy one of my favorite skills as well. If you guys have enjoyed the skill build guide, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. But until next time, guys, I will talk to you later.